What is up? Let's see here.
Hey, Don.
Hey, Lauren, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
All right. I am okay. Feeling pretty good.
Good.
Just so cool. I don't know if you heard the news, but Jeff Bezos has invited William Shatner to go to space with him.
Yeah, I just saw your post on that.
That's so cool. He's finally getting out there. I wonder if they're going to designate Blue Origin to be Enterprise, since he's on board.
NCC 1701.
Yes, sir. I love stuff like that. Just made me feel good.
What's even more amazing is that they're actually working on ion drives, warp drives.
Yeah.
And it's just mind-blowing science.
Well, McCoy used to carry a thing in his hand that could read temperatures, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tell them where they were, GPS. Yeah, we're all carrying them now.
Yeah.
Remember Kirk would say, what's your duty detail? And he'd pick up that little thing and he'd work on that little tablet thing. We got them all now.
Yeah.
We even have phasers.
Yeah.
We have guns that shoot electricity. We have guns that shoot sound. It's like pretty cool.
It's amazing.
Well, what's that old saying? Today's science fiction is tomorrow's science.
Yeah,
Yep.
No kidding.
Well, Star Trek was responsible for our automatic opening doors that are ubiquitous in all shopping centers.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yep.
It's really amazing stuff.
Stanley came up with that. They saw, hey, we can make that.
Well, once certain barriers are broken down, like the barrier of how does the door know you're there? Once they go, well, we've got a sensor that can do this. Once that, then you kind of go. I mean, opening the door is no big deal. It was the sensor that was the big deal. I mean, how do you know somebody's there? And then just everything went crazy.
Yeah,
crazy. The whole. What do you think? What do you guys think? Because I don't know for sure, but what do you guys think made SLR photography so freaking popular so quick after it came out? I think it was the pentaprism. Before that, you either had rangefinders.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Or you had cameras that showed you upside down or backwards or whatever. The pentaprism comes out, you hold up to your eye and you get to see through the camera what you're going to take a picture at. It's not over here, and it's not upside down, and it's not backwards. Or in the case of a view camera, upside down and backwards.
And backwards.
Just to make it even more fun. So
Yeah.
I think the pentaprism went a long way. I think, every time I read an article about, well, this is coming out on cameras and that's going to ruin photography, I just laugh because it's I mean, from the very moment I got into photography, Pop Photo was running articles like, do you believe they're actually putting meters in cameras now? If there's a meter in camera, then anybody can be a photographer. Photography is ruined now. There's meters in cameras. And on and on. And well, they said the same thing about 35 millimeter. Because everybody was shooting 2 1/4 twin lens reflexes. That 35 millimeter came out. Well, that's the end of photography. The negative's too small. I remember reading an article in Pop Photo. They said the camera was too small, you'd lose it. Yeah, I think we're stretching there.
And then they came out with 120.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's just crazy stuff.
But that negative was too small.
Sorry, I pushed the wrong button, guys. I tend to do that. Yeah, I think I just saw a guy selling a Rolly, by the way. He put it up, and I think maybe Mark knows. Was that one of our guys that had a Rolly and didn't know how much it was worth? He said he was going to like sell it for $240. Oh, it was a Yashica mat.
I'm not sure.
I just saw a guy had a Yashica mat. He says, I think I'll sell it for about $240. And I sent him a note and said, yeah, $240 was a good price 10 years ago. Today, you're looking about $700-800 for it if it's in good condition.
You're like,
So-
I'll take you up on that offer.
Yeah, that was going through my mind. It's like I can send one of two emails. One is, what's your PayPal address?
Right. You're like, you call it 240. Yeah, I think I can do that.
Oh, great story. Great story. There's a camera store in town named Bob's Cameras out in Scottsdale. And I used to do a lot of my business, drive all the way out to Scottsdale because Bob's was at the time the only really pro shop we had in town. He carried the bigger cameras, a better set of lenses and stuff. And God, he was expensive, but he's the only place you could go to get that. So everything else was, Kodak cameras and stuff like that. So I'm out at Bob's Camera and we're talking, and I was mentioning that I had just gotten my Deerdorf. He said, I got a question for you. I got a story for you. Guy calls from Scottsdale and says, I've got some old cameras here and I don't know how much they're worth. Could you give me an idea? And the guy says, well, what's the model number? He says, I can't see the model number. There's wax on the cameras. Bob goes, oh, I'll bring them down. He says, I can't bring them down. They're too big. Okay, so now Bob's interested in what the hell do you have, right? So he gets in the car, he goes over. The guy's got 3 cameras there. A 20 by 24 wooden view camera from about Civil War, all covered in wax. You know why the wax is on it, right? Totally preserved it.
Yeah.
Totally preserved it. It's got 20 by 24 and 2 16 by 20 cameras. 6 lenses, big old, no shutters. I mean, these were like take the cap off, wait an hour, put the cap back on kind of thing. 6 lenses, all in carefully constructed pads and the whole bit. And the first thing the guy says, well, can you get film for these? And Bob goes, well, you can. It's just really, really hard to get. And he says, yeah, I'll probably never use them. So Bob says, what do you want for them? The guy goes, well, I was thinking about, $100 for the big one and $50 for the little ones. He goes, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to write you a check for $1,000 for these cameras. He said, I had to do that. Otherwise, there's no way I could sleep at night. No possible way I could sleep at night. And he had them. He's probably got them in his home now. He took the wax off of them and they look like the day they were stored. He thinks that the 20 by 24 was never even used. There's no marks where the dark slides would have gone in. There's none. It looks like an absolute pristine, brand new camera. The wax did a great job on the wood. The bellows discolored and crap like that, but he ended up getting new bellows made for it. But what an incredible find. Bob was also the guy where the camera store where the guy came in with his Leica and he said it won't work. It was really getting hard to do the handle. It won't work. So I WD-40'd it. I don't have to tell you what WD-40 does to a camera, do I? Amy's here. Hey, Amy. And Adi is here. Adi? Dude, what are you doing, man? What's up?
How are you, sir? How are you?
I'm doing great. See your name there makes me smile, man.
Yes, yes. No, I saw. I normally don't end up going to Facebook. Today I went and I saw that you were having this today. So I said, okay, if things sort of pan out, I should be able to attend.
Are you still have your partner?
Lee and I, we off and on, we do work together.
Okay.
Lee is busy teaching sailing these days, but he takes on commercial jobs, so portraiture and stuff like that.
You say he's teaching sailing?
Yeah, that he's
cool.
teaching. He's busy with that for the time being. The photography is still ongoing, but he's busy with that for the time being. Yeah.
Oh, very, very good. That's awesome. That's really awesome. Adi is out in Brooklyn.
The Bronx.
Queens.
I'm out in the Bronx, and
Bronx.
yeah, yeah.
I only had 2 more boroughs to go, and I didn't know.
And I'm a mostly these days my work is related to photojournalism. With the with this general shutdown and everything, there's not very much commercial work going on.
Amazing
following-
photojournalism.
What's that?
His work, I've loved some of his work that he's shown. Adi, did you do anything when the city was all empty in the beginning of the pandemic?
I went out for assignments, and the way I traveled around town for over a year, I was on a bicycle. So I got to see the city in a very different way. I managed to get, I'm vaccinated, but I managed to get COVID about a month and a half ago. My quarantine was over. So since then, I haven't been on the bike except for a small little trip here and there. Each day I feel better. It was mild. It was mild, and it wasn't. I was very lucky. That was mild.
Well, there's
Yeah.
But
only
yes, I was
types
out
of
in
people.
the city making photographs.
Adi, there's only 2 types of people: those who have had COVID and those people who will get it.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's a virus. It's here forever, just like the cold, the flu, and everything else. Virus.
yeah, yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
And now you've got it. So you've got actually better immunity now than someone who's gotten a vaccine. You're probably good to go for 18 months.
So there's conflicting, like all of this, there's conflicting stuff that comes out. There was one thing that I read which said having had COVID, you have 6 times the immunity than a vaccine, and then straight after, a couple of days after that, they said no, that is not peer reviewed, so we cannot say that. And there is evidence to point towards that if you've had COVID, the immunity that you get is not as good as from the vaccine. But then I don't know, with the variants and everything, so it is what it is. You can only read so much and understand so much, and the experts don't.
Wouldn't it be nice to get unfettered, unpoliticized information, so it doesn't go through politics first? It's just health, folks. Let's just talk about health.
Yeah. Plus
They
it's
have to
evolving.
turn it into a politics,
They've done it with
Yeah.
everything. Everything is now politics. I mean, just
sad.
everything. It's just so sad. It's like politics is a participation sport now.
Sorry, Virginia, didn't mean to step over you.
Oh, no, I'm just saying that it's evolving. They said, they learn as they go because of, watching it and doing the studies and all that stuff. I mean, I look at Ben Anderson. He has, major health issues, but he's had it more than once. It's awful. And I've had COVID and I've been vaccinated, but I have no clue I haven't read anything on that.
Well, I don't like the term vaccination because it's not a vaccination, it's a shot. It's just like a flu shot. A vaccination means you don't get it. You get vaccinated from polio, you don't get it. But they keep changing the vocabulary, and that troubles me.
You can
Here in
still get
Arizona, we
polio.
have big signs that says,
Yeah.
help wipe out COVID. Yeah, well, that ain't never gonna happen, folks. So you're setting the bar at an impossible point. Let's manage it, let's control it, whatever, but wipe it out. It's a virus. Look what
Well, they
Northern
said that with
China shut
AIDS,
down
and it's
again
still
because they
here.
got another variant going on.
Yeah.
So it's here. Got to learn to live with it. Got to learn to get through it. Got to learn to medicate when we have it. But trying to, quote, get rid of it is silly. Hey, I did a big photo shoot last week. I don't know if any of you guys knew. I don't know if any of you guys know my friend Brianna over in San Diego, but Brianna is starting her own online business, health products. She's doing food basically, but she's not doing recipes. She's talking about food, what's good for you, what's not good for you, exercise. Have you seen Bree lately, Virginia?
Yeah, I have. I've been meaning to call her. I'm working with a couple of coaches in creating stock photography for them.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, that's what I did for her. Bree
Awesome.
is Bree. I had to have a talk with her about her, getting chunky. I mean, Bree, seriously, I think Bree has like 0.5% body fat, maybe not even that much. She's like a
She
little,
weighs more because of muscle.
she's just a little rock. I mean, she's just solid, and really strong and really cut and looks great. I think she's looks as great as she ever has, and she's 32 now, and I met her when she was like 20. So she's doing great. She's going to get an app. So I wanted to share these with you just for fun. Went over and we shot all over San Diego. Well, not all over San Diego. We went to Balboa. But I shot a lot of really rapid photographs for her. It's kind of a library shoot in a way. And you can see, because she can go from this shot to this shot to this shot with a little animation and create her Facebook profiles, etc. We didn't do any swimsuit stuff because I don't think it's her brand. I think right now her problem is on her Instagram page. She's like 65% men. I have no idea why. None. Who would know? But
Like trying to figure out.
She wants to have 70% women because women are her clients. Men just want to come and see Bree. So we stayed away from swimsuits and all that kind of stuff, but we had a lot of fun. Moved fast through the park. If you're wondering how many shots we did, 1,200 on the Nikon and 300 on the Lumix. The Lumix did a great job. And we kept it to natural light, bouncing light off the buildings.
Beautiful. Our little Bree's growing up.
Yeah, I know. I told her it was really great because her hair is starting to match my wife's. I think, or maybe mine, I don't know. She's got all the streaks. She looks great. Anyway, she looks really great. And I'm really thrilled for her to have, that she's doing this self-employment thing. So we worked with shadows, which was fun. This is in one of the little gardens there in Balboa Park.
Oh, where's that? I haven't been to that part.
Yeah, we were in Balboa Park.
I know, but where's that one?
Oh,
that
this is
particular
east.
garden? Because
East of the little roundabout where the cars come in.
oh yeah,
I'm sorry, west of that. You know where the theater where they do the Shakespeare?
yeah.
It's across from that, and it's down steps, so you can't even see it from the street. I didn't know it was there.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, we
before.
just sort
that
of.
place has so much.
It does. It's a fantastic park.
Can she make a slideshow out of any of those?
Yeah,
just little animation.
That's why I basically held the camera very tight and just shot boom, 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 boom. So she could do flip animations. She can do dissolves. She could do animated GIFs, all of those things. Probably dissolves would be better. We played over at the park and.
Wow, so much fun.
Down here. Found this cool tree painted on the wall. And this is me holding the Nikon down real low, pulling the screen out a little bit so I could see it, and shoot. Well, no, I couldn't see it. It was vertical. Couldn't see it. Just holding it way down low, testing it, putting back, and just doing some rapid fires there. But my lens shade got rotated somehow.
Oh,
it'll crop out, but I love the stop sign shadow coming in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see a caption, don't let anything stop your dreams.
Yeah. That's excellent. Excellent. Anyway, these are all from the Nikon,
Amazing.
and really, really great time. Let me show you what came off the Lumix. I'm so thrilled with the Lumix. So this is over on near Ocean Beach.
Oh, I saw her post one of those, or
Yeah.
maybe you.
So, this is my Lumix literally set on auto. Well, it's like aperture priority, just as wide as the camera will go, and shooting an overcast day. And that little Lumix just shoots and shoots and shoots. I can go click, 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 almost like stop motion if I wanted to. Really, really pleased with it. If you blow it up, it's got a little noise. I
But
like the
social
noise.
media, it doesn't show.
What's that?
Social media, no one will see it.
No. There are two ways to get rid of it. One is the DxO just does it amazingly. So if you put it in is it DxO that has the doubling software? It'll quadruple the size of the file. Is that
No, that's Bridge.
Photoshop.
Adobe Bridge has the
no, not the Adobe, it's the other one. Adobe does it well, but the other one does it better. I think it's DxO. Yeah, it's DxO Studio. Where's my DxO? I don't even see it. I know I have it somewhere, but I don't see it.
I can never
Where is it?
remember the name of the software.
Yeah, DxO Photolab 4 has it.
yeah.
And what you do is you quadruple it and then hit it with the noise reduction and then shrink it down, and looks like it's like you shot it on a Canon or a Nikon. That doesn't even bother me. I don't mind the noise. It really comes out more like grain. But anyway, we had a blast. And I think she's going to have a lot of fun pictures to choose from.
You're setting up her website too.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to help her. She's very
Savvy.
what's the word? She does it herself.
Yeah, tech savvy.
No, she's not
really.
tech savvy.
She's not tech savvy.
DIY?
She's just independent.
Ah,
She will be tech savvy by Christmas because she's like, oh no, I gave her your name, Mark. I said, you've got to set up a Squarespace site, not a Shopify, because Shopify is a monthly payment. That's like 3 times Squarespace. So you got to get a Squarespace where you can.
Oh, it's on sale this month, 20% off.
Squarespace?
Yeah.
Right now she's thinking she's going to run everything from her Instagram. Run the whole thing from her Instagram. Her goal is to get 100 clients paying $100 a month. Wouldn't we all like to have that?
right.
Yeah.
What would 10K do for you?
Oh, it would help a little bit.
It would
Virginia.
definitely, help a little.
Hey, Virginia, they've got a sale right now for the 20%, but if you need a site paid for, if you do it the annual, let me know, because I'm a Circle member. I always get 20% off.
Oh, good to know. Well, I'm building a site for somebody, just so I was trying to get it done. So, I mean, I'm going to have it done. So then she's going to do that. But, yeah.
How many sites do you have on your Squarespace that you
Well,
manage?
I don't use Squarespace. I use Format. I just offered to do this girl's site on Squarespace because she paid a lot of money for someone to make a really hideous site. And I thought, well, I can do better than that. And it's coming along really good. So, I mean, I'm no Mark Lund, but I can
neither.
see, and I have somebody else interested in me doing it. I did a branding shoot for a permaculture food forest instructor. So she's thinking I'm going to do her site for her.
Nice.
That's the branding page I put up, Dawn.
Oh, okay.
I did that to show her, okay, this is create your branding. So I'm teaching branding too. Because you create your branding and this is how you're going to do your Instagram, your website, cohesiveness through the whole thing.
It's really, really something that all you guys should think about, all of you. Being able to help people with their branding. And when photographers say, well, I don't know that, I think, yeah, you do. You're telling yourself you don't, but you do. You know what shots need to be done and what those shots will do for their business and all of that stuff. And the stuff that you don't know, you can hire an intern. You could actually go to Fiverr and get somebody at Fiverr to help you with all the issues you don't know. And you only have to do that 3 or 4 times before you pick it up. When I hear photographers going to agencies to do their quote branding and spending the money that a branding agency costs. Amy, have you ever approached a branding?
Actually hired someone recently from Instagram. I liked her approach and she redid my logo, my color palette.
What did she charge you?
Right around $1,000. It was
That's
so much cheaper than, like a big agency. I got
yeah,
quotes
they
from other
don't, they won't
places
even
and-
start to talk to you for under 20K.
Yeah,
They
the
grab
one
it.
I found was like minimum of 10,000
Yeah.
investment. It's like,
Yep.
nope.
Oh, it's super easy too. I mean, I used to do it before there was such a thing as branding or the internet. I created, what did I call it? Business identifying, business identification. Where you're
Yeah.
creating an identity for a business, which is branding today. So that's what I did for 15 years in the antique business.
When photographers, if you're an established photographer and you've got money coming in and you've got money in the bank and you've got your tax money in a separate account and it's ready to go, so you're not like surprised on April 14th and go, say, what? If all that's ready to go and you've got the money to spend 7, 8, 10,000, then I would never say don't do that. Do what you want. But when you're first starting out and you got $3,800 in the bank and you're trying to make it, spending more than, well, even $1,000 is a lot. I would say spending more than 500, when you first start out, that's a big, you're tying up your capital in something that you may or may not see a return on. Now Amy's been in the business for 4 years, Amy, 4 years?
9.
9. So Amy's an established photographer, probably a good thing for her to hire a branding person. Sounds like you got a good one and talk through the issues and figure it out. And you get something you're happy. It's absolutely worth it. But Lauren is just starting out. Lauren, it's like I would say, like I say in Minimal Viable Brand, I don't have anything against graphic designers. I am a graphic designer. I don't want graphic designers to go out of business. But at the same time, no one's ever going to look at your thing and go, I was going to hire Lauren for this job, but the kerning between the R and the E doesn't feel right, Find a cool font on Creative Market, because if you pay $10 for that font, you're in the 2% of people who paid for fonts. 98% of the people are using free Google fonts. They don't even invest $10.
Yeah.
And there's a, if you want to get an idea how good the Fiverr people are, there's a YouTube, I guess you would call it a meme, something that a lot of people do. If you type in, I paid a Fiverr logo, you're going to get a whole bunch of people who their thing is they'll take one logo idea and they'll give it to 5 Fiverr logo people, one $10 up to $500. And then they'll show you the logos that each one of them did. Quite often, it's the middle, low, and middle that knock it out of the park. Rarely have I seen it be the top end, the top dollars. It is occasionally, but I love those things because I want to see what's going on. What's really kick-ass is when the $10 guy comes in. you know, and he's got a name you can't pronounce, like Bunga Hanga Chikawanini from like somewhere in God knows where, right?
Botswana.
Yeah, Botswana. And the logo comes up and you go, oh God, that's really nice.
Yeah.
That's a nice logo. And he got $20. And we think, wow, $20 to him?
That's a month's
him?
worth of groceries.
Yeah. That's life-changing.
Yeah.
That's like,
Yeah.
we can eat this week. Or maybe
Yeah, when you look at it, it shows you where they're living at. So when you take the price and look at where they're living at, you know,
That's
$10
a lot of
in the
money.
United States is not the same as, but it shows you.
Yeah, I just redesigned logos. I'm changing my name to my business name for here. So
You're changing your business name to what?
Big Island Portraits and Branding.
Okay.
I'm mostly doing it for because of location and because I decided I like portraits, but I want to do super high-end consumer portraits and like one a month, and I'm going to charge a lot of money for them.
I actually think, my dear, that even though I'm a commercial guy, I know you're a really good commercial shooter. I think for where you are and what you do, that's a great idea.
Yeah, and personal branding is the kind of is more commercial, so businesses, because none of the business that, I mean, there's the corporate hotel businesses, but they don't come here for their photography. So it's local business, and so local business, the personal branding will cover that, you know. I mean, I'm not going to be cheap, but I figure that covers my bases, you know. I may have a separate site for stuff I do in California, and I'll be in Arizona a lot. In fact, Don, I'll be
Even
here
if
next week in Phoenix.
Even if you just get one branding client a month, that's really good money.
Yeah, I mean, the first one that I did on spec that I got from, she picked me because she went to the website, you know, our P52 website that I can't remember the name of.
Yeah, visual media. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a trade and money. That's the first one, and that's the one I'm doing the website for. But that's why she picked me, is because of that site. So, you know, it's with the personal branding, and if we figured out what I would charge for that, because it's basically what Amy got. So I did her colors and branding, and then I'm doing her website. So if I charged for that, that would be kind of expensive.
Yeah, absolutely. And so worth it. It's not that they can't do it on their own. It's the arbitrage. They don't want to do it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, coming up with a color palette will take you some work, I guess, but you could get it done. But when you're working with someone else, it's just easier to have them do it. I think.
Have you been? I was going to ask Virginia, have you been on some of the calls where we've talked about subscription-based services for people where, like, your social media, if you can, tell her what the package would be, but maybe take it down a little bit if she does like every month or every other month on a subscription service, so
Yeah.
so she doesn't need as much each time.
I've had that for private clients with the private gallery to what I've got shot. But now, so with this girl and the other girl, she paid me for branding. So it was $1,500 for a branding shoot and helping her doing that branding page, you know, that I posted about her, just with her pictures, some of the pictures we used, her colors, just because it's explaining to her, you know, fonts. She hasn't picture fonts, but just explaining to her that. So just that was $1,500. And then the other one that I did a kind of a trade for, she paid a guy $2,500 for a really hideous website. So that kind of tells me price range. You know, I'd be glad to take $2,500 for just putting together a Squarespace website. So I figure a branding shoot website, that's like $5,000. And the website is just using a template in Squarespace, not like I'm making some from the ground up build. But anyway, the subscription. So these two girls have already signed up. So they're doing $30 a month for 15 images, website images off of my gallery for that.
That's great. It's absolutely great. Every photographer should be interested in doing that. Every photographer. We are past the days. We're past the days where we can only do one thing. If we want to make money, we got to do something else. Branding is right up your alley. Web design, especially using Shopify or Squarespace, is again, could they do it? Yes. Anybody can go to Shopify and create a store. It'll look like pretty much everybody else's store because you just choose a template. But you'll find that people don't even want to do that. They'll go, I don't want to go. I don't want to make those decisions. I don't feel comfortable. I'll pay you to do it. And they'll pay handsomely to do it. Everybody can wash their car, and yet we'll spend $175 to have it detailed. I can detail my car. I can go out there and I don't want to. I just don't. All I want to do with my car is put gas in it. You know, somebody said I should put oil in it. I thought,
Last year, I shot and designed a website for a local coffee roaster. And, I would ask them questions about the design that they wanted or whatever. He's like, leaving it all up to you. We don't have time to think about it. Exactly what you're saying. They're just so busy. And they were happy with it, works great.
They get overwhelmed too with all they have to do with their business and think about that.
Yeah, that's true, because we are in the business and we're like, oh yeah, doing a website, that's kind of, like that. If you're running a little coffee shop, those people put in 12 hours at the store. They go home, play with the kids for an hour and a half, crash. And now we're going, oh yeah, it's easy. Go up to Shopify. It take you a couple of hours to, they're like, you don't understand. We don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's great. I really do. I think it's great. It's fantastic. What else is going on? Who else got something? Adi, tell us a little bit about what's going on in New York right now, photographically. Are the agencies open? Do you know? Are you in that? Able to know that?
I know that one of my ASMP friends did do some work during the fashion week, but
Okay.
I've sort of lost touch with that part of the universe. I've been
Okay.
just busy with my assignment work, which is, my assignment work is not related to breaking news or anything. It's more
Right.
featured stuff. So but yeah, it got awfully quiet. Obviously things are picking up now, but yeah, no. And then in the meetings that I've been, there's not, with the commercial photographers, there's not a lot going on. So but yes, people are getting, but it's not at a point where it was before, where people were pretty comfortable and were busy.
Yeah.
It's not like that. It's definitely not like that.
Yeah. Listening to some of my friends back there, the agencies are pretty quiet. Still a lot of people working from home.
Yeah.
So hopefully it comes back.
Eventually it will. I suppose it's a question of being able to, like you said, finding ways to stay afloat.
Yeah.
And come out at the other end.
Yeah. Reading Josh Rose did an article on Medium about 3 weeks ago, told his story. He's he was a pretty high-end art director in LA. I mean, worked on big accounts like Toyota and that stuff like that, right? And then about 6 years ago, he said a guy in a suit came in, smiled at me, shook my hand, and killed my career. That was it. They didn't need the art directors. They just basically we're hiring art directors. Well, the agency sold to another agency, and the art directors, they were just using 1099ers.
Yeah. And then and often people with experience will be shown the door because they just want younger people who will put in more hours for less, might not have that experience.
Yeah.
But
No, you're absolutely right. See, they can get a 25-year-old art director right out of college who, would be happy to art direct it for $5,000. No health insurance, no time off, just you do it. Here's your 25, your $5,000 or whatever it is. 1099ers happy, agency moves on, and they don't have all that stuff. You get a guy who's been he's with the agency for, I think he said 22 years.
wow.
This guy's probably pulling down about 130, 150, senior art director for a big agency, at least 150. So you got to be, that's one of the reasons why I've been self-employed my whole life.
You've seen the advertising industry go through a lot, right? From I would say the 70s onwards.
Yes. Oh, I remember that. Yeah. Oh God, I could sit here and pontificate for hours on that. There used to be a lot of agencies in New York. And then in about 1985 to 1990, everybody started buying everybody else. It's just like, Duck, do you remember how many stock agencies there were in 1985? Well, let's go 1990. Do you remember how stock agencies there were? Duck is either thinking or he's frozen. I'm going to go with frozen.
Frozen in a thinking face.
He's thinking, but he just.
I think he's frozen.
There were stock agencies. There were dozens of stock agencies. You had Westlight, West Stock, LA Stock, Oregon Stock, Washington State Stock. You had stock from almost every coastal area. You had sports stock, underwater stock. It was amazing how much stock photography. Duck, you remember all those stock places? Or are you frozen again?
I was frozen there for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard you. Yeah, there were only a small handful. And I remember ordering the catalog books, the printed books to make collections from.
Yeah. We had in the studio, in the ad agency, we had a library, and in the library, we probably had a dozen, if not more, stock books. Now, Getty. There's some other small, very niche stock companies out there, but Getty is this. Getty bought everything. They bought West Stock. They bought food stock. They bought everybody, and that changed a lot. Ad agencies did the same thing from 1985 to about 1992 or 93. The ad agencies, the number of them shrank. And some agencies, big agencies, would buy a small agency, like they'd buy Virginia. They'd leave Virginia in her position, and they'll help Virginia get money and everything, but they'll pay Virginia even maybe more than Virginia's making as a sole proprietor, just put you on the payroll. So they get really big. Then what happens? Shit happens in 2006, 2008, right? Boom. And everybody's laid off. They get real big, then they lay it off. They get real big, then they lay it off. What happened on this particular cycle is digital entered the fray.
Mm-hmm.
When you would do a shot here in Phoenix, where we had, oh gosh, I want to say there were at least 50 ad agencies here in 1985, at least, because Yeah, it's more than that, but I'm going to go at least 50 agencies because I marketed to every one of them. And when you would do a shot for them, the art director would come over with the stuff and you would, put your heads together, you'd brainstorm, you'd set it up. You might spend all day photographing, and I did spend all day photographing a bar of soap. I'd spend all day photographing a cell phone component, and they'd look at it and we'd run through Polaroid after Polaroid after Polaroid. You can just hear the machine going ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. There's a lot of money, right? That's the way it was. They don't do that anymore. They rarely even show up at your studio anymore. Digital said, well, we don't really have to be there. Digital also said, well, you don't have to spend all day on that bar of soap. Just shoot it and we'll have somebody retouch it. And it changed the business. Oh, and it changed the leads. We were shooting here in Phoenix, we were shooting girls in wool skirts and wool jackets and hats and scarves when it was 115 degrees outside, because it was a 6-month lead on the magazine. It took them 6 months to put a magazine together. By the time I was shooting the last stuff that I shot here for pennies, they were down to 4 months. Then digital comes. Digital wipes that away. They literally can put an issue together in about 3 or 4 days. They've got all their templates and InDesign and just whip it out. So the business has changed drastically. And along with that, fees have changed, the amount of clients have changed, et cetera. But more clients have opened up because of it. Like Virginia is now shooting photography on a monthly basis for Instagram for a client. We didn't have that 5 years ago. That market didn't exist. So every time a door shuts, another one opens. Images and marketing is never going to go away. Never going to go away. It's always going to be here. So
yeah, I think it's going to be, in fact, the need for strong images is more because there's so much, I don't want to use a crass word, but there's so much crap out there. So anything that is better rises to the top, and anything that grabs has to be better, right? So I think, and then people, I think the images communicate really well, at least now, more, because we live in this visual world. It's
yes.
easy way to impart information. So I think, yeah, no, but the trick, I think, is that the gatekeepers have gone away in a lot of respects. But I suppose to make use of this or take advantage of the ease of digital still takes hard work, right? You still have to have a good campaign, whatever you're trying to say, 5 images, 10 images, whatever that campaign is going to be. That is the key to the whole thing. It's just made it easier to get there, but the power is in the idea and how you're going to get that across.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. I totally agree with you. I even will go so far as to say the best time ever to be a photographer is right now. Right now. If you want to shoot film, you can shoot film. If you want to shoot digital, you can shoot digital. If you want to rent the highest end digital camera for a week, you can go rent one. All this is new. The idea that you don't have to wait 24 hours or 48 hours if you were shooting Kodachrome to see your pictures has changed photography drastically. We can see it right now as we take it. We can adjust right now in real time. And when you say people still want photographs, you couldn't be more right. Back in the day, we would get the California workbook. We'd get a workbook about this thick. This was about a 9x12 book, be about this thick of photographers. They'd also send us one on illustrators. People would paint and draw and everything, and it'd be about half the size, right? How many Illustrator websites do you know of out there? I know lots and lots of photo sharing, Instagram, Flickr, Pixels, all that stuff. Where's the illustrators? They're on
Pretty much
Behance.
Behance. Yep.
On
Well, I
Behance.
just came across a couple. I was looking them up and I can't remember, but I saw two sites. But one was illustrators. Oh, and then there's that new site Creatively, but it's more like you sign up for it. But there were two sites that I saw that had illustrators on it. And
That's cool.
But the only
Um,
two, and I was
but-
really actively looking.
Yeah. And that's the problem. There's only two. You know, we've lost some things. We've picked some things up on the other end, though. Today, if you had to shoot 300 items on white seamless with a little drop shadow, you'd shoot them and ship them off to Pakistan or India, and someone over there is going to strip them off the back, put a little drop shadow underneath them, clean up the back, and send them back to you for like 25 cents a piece. Can't beat that. Can't beat that. So it's an amazing time to be a photographer, just an amazing time. Because of that, it's become very easy to technically make a photograph. That has changed. Back in the day, we had to know film processing, how to pull or push slide film and color balance and lights, because if you're shooting transparency, what you shot is what you got. That was it. There was no selective color changing or whatever. Everything was global. And on and on. It was lots of technical stuff. Ansel Adams has a 3-book set: the camera, the negative, and the print. 3 books that used to be the Bible. There's virtually nothing in those 3 books that has anything to do with today. They're like door stoppers today. So while photography remained the same, the tools were different. But you had to know technique, and it took time and money. Today, the camera, I agree, by the way, with the sentiment I just saw, I think on Facebook or Medium, where the guy said, look, cameras don't matter anymore. Cameras don't matter. It just doesn't matter. And after shooting this little point and shoot with Bree, I totally agree with him. I wish it had a faster lens. It's a bit slow on the lens, so backgrounds are not as nice and soft and fuzzy as I like my 2.8 backgrounds to be, but it does a really, really good job. And I could see myself doing, jobs on it, doing client work on it, if it was travel or something like that. Camera doesn't matter anymore. What matters is the idea. What matters is the professionalism of the photographer. What matters is that next level. I know all of you guys know it. I talk about the hierarchy of excellence, right? That little pyramid that I drew. We all know anybody can do level 2. Most people on Instagram and Flickr and Facebook can level 2 or level 2. Level 3, now it starts to get thin. The herd starts thinning out real fast. You get to level 4 and you're in rare air. You get to level 6 and you're probably undercharging. If you're on this show right now, you're undercharging. I guarantee it. So, but
I was gonna say, you were talking about the camera. I don't remember the software McKenna was using when he did that virtual, like it selected him out of the photo and then softened the background. So even with your camera, you said it wasn't quite as fast, but if you had that software he was using, you could run it through that and knock it out just that tiny little bit more than it needed. So again, the camera doesn't matter.
Isn't that Photoshop he's using? It's Photoshop, right?
No, it was, I want to say, I'd have to go back and watch the video again. I think it's Luminar AI.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Luminar AI has it, but I think Photoshop has it as well. Really do.
Yeah.
I think
So again,
in their beta things that you have on there, I think it has it as well.
So it's that little tiny bit, like even as you get it so close in the camera and then that one little last thing, so the camera doesn't matter.
I mean, they have that on Zoom, so.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, I feel like with what Audie said with the photographs before, it used to be like you'd have a magazine, so people, had their photos for the month. They weren't expecting new photos for the month and for the next month. But now with the consumption of photography being as fast as it is,
Yeah.
because these social people need new if they're not posting 3 or 4 times a day, they're losing the AI or the algorithm on Instagram.
If you're
So
a
they need
business,
so much.
if you're a business on Instagram, this is what I was telling Bree, one of the reasons I shot so many pictures. If you're a business on Instagram, you've got to be posting 4 to 6 times a day to have Instagram move your algorithm. That's just to change the algorithm minutely. The only way these companies that and I can't think of, I don't go to Instagram very much. I can't think of any companies that I'm sure you guys know, where you get the ad all the time, the different ads and stuff. Because of the nature of Instagram, they can't put the same ad up over and over again. That's like the kiss of death, right? So they've got entire graphic departments taking pictures and creating new things, to buy these shoes or to buy this set of things. The number one product that sells on Creative Market are Instagram story templates.
Yep.
So all of this stuff is, available to us, so to speak. And we need to take advantage of that. And I think a lot of photographers are, but need to take advantage of that. And sometimes you have to remind your client what you're talking about. You have to let them know, look, a library shoot really makes sense for you, Mr. Smith. In fact, you probably should do one for this restaurant every quarter, a spring library shoot, a summer library shoot, on and on to keep this going. Because if you're only Instagramming 1 time a week, yeah, you've got an Instagram account, but you're not pulling clients.
Yeah. And then the other thing I believe is people that have shied away from photographing people, they need to start getting really good at photographing people, because it kind of goes along with I'm going to do your photography and the website. You talk about the restaurant, it's not just a matter of going in and taking a picture of the food anymore, because they're going to need headshots done too. So you have to be able to do people. No matter what else you do, you have to be able to do people.
Yeah,
Yep, you
and
gotta be able to-
environmental portraits
What's that?
and environmental portraits.
Yeah, because
It's
you're going to have to shoot.
personality.
Yeah, not only are you going to have to shoot the people, like the headshots and stuff, but you got to shoot the chef. They've got a really, cool 5-star chef. All this stuff has to be done. And, it's why I tell photographers, you got to learn a little bit of video, just enough to do a little bit. Motion is great. Video clips, animation is great. Once you get into what we need, a 5-minute video for Facebook. Then Amy says, absolutely, that's great. Amy comes back, gets on the phone, calls a videographer. And Amy is the director. Amy knows what shots she wants, and she lets the videographer do it. Otherwise, Amy's going, oh shit, how do I do pull focus? Oh shit, how do I do? We don't need to know that. We need to hire the right guy. In video, you can get a pretty good video operator for $50 an hour. You're not charging $50 an hour. You're charging 5 times that an hour.
Yeah, and then even with what you said, knowing video, even doing the short ones, knowing the lingo kind of goes along with understanding copy and font and stuff. If you're working with a videographer, you need to be able to tell them pan this way, pan that way, zoom, doll, like the different terms, so that way you're actually directing them with what you want done.
Exactly.
Kind of have a script. I just wrote a script for my marketing video yesterday. My 100-day thing.
Oh, your 100-day project?
Well, yeah, I'm working on, you say do something every day. I've been trying to do that, but I wrote the script for my marketing video yesterday. So, because it's not just enough to tell them about the shots, but you have to know what, you're like telling your story in your video, so it's cohesive and not random.
Yeah. If you go out to do random video, I can tell you from personal experience, stay home. I have made that mistake too many times. And now I pull out my paper and I do it because even in the old days, I would forget to do detail shots. I always forget to do detail shots. I'd be coming back and I'd be driving out. Oh man, I should have shot a picture of her hand holding the handbag. I should have got a picture of her clutching the pearls. Like I should have got a picture of just her hands because she had such a beautiful mannequin. And I didn't. I'd always remember on the way home. So I started like literally tying a string around my finger to remember to do those things. And I went out on my motorcycle ride 2 years ago, and our big goal was to do this video. And I got back and I've got literally an hour and a half of video that I did. And it's just a cluster. It's just like, there's some clips, but other than the clips, there's no continuity to it. I didn't say, okay, stop here at Lake City and do some talk about Yellowstone. Stop here, do this. So, I got a bunch of pretty scenic things, the water flowing under the bridge. It's really pretty. It ties in with nothing. It's this picture of water under a bridge. Now I have this little book that I made. I actually just made squares on a page, right? Sent it to Blurb, had a trade book made for, I think I got 60 or 80 pages for like $4.90. It was like shipping was more than the book. And that's my little story book. My what do you got? Story ideas. I write them down.
Storyboarding.
Storyboard. It's my little storyboard for my thing, so I can remember to do it. Getting old, and losing, most of my faculties, except that, the only thing I'm really good at now is drooling, which is, there's no sport for it yet. Lauren's laughing. Wait till you get here, pal.
You have a drool bucket?
Yeah, I got 3. I got them on Amazon, 3 for $1. It was really awesome. Great sale. They're in the dollar store. But you forget and you move on, and then you regret it. So now I make, you guys know I'm into journaling now, writing and stuff way more than I used to. And now I do all my storyboards. I'll do them in the morning. If I get up on the, like on bike ride, I get up in the morning, I'll sit there and do my storyboard for the day. Because I'm not going to shoot all damn day. I'm going to ride and do a little couple of B-roll things here and there, and then I'm going to do my shoot, and then I'll do a couple of B-roll things going out and be done with it. But if I don't remember to do it, man, I'll have to blend the stuff I did 2 years ago with the stuff I did this year, and maybe I can come up with something along the lines of a story somehow. It's fun. You guys ever go and see Ben? The YouTuber that is the backpacker guy. What's Ben? Ben Horn. If you're not familiar with Ben Horn, you should check him out. Oh, and Adi, sir, are you there? Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here, sir.
There's a guy on YouTube named Dan Milner. Dan Milner, Milnor. Addie, you gotta follow Dan Milner. He is a former photojournalist and a really good one. And he minces no words. He tells it like it is. He's absolutely one of the straight guys on YouTube that has actually done what he says he's done, and he brings it out, and he doesn't play favorites, and he doesn't pull, he's not into like, oh, I think I'm going to trade my Sony in for a Fuji so we can get a bunch of hits, and all that stuff. It's just real world stuff.
Thank you. No, I'll look for him. I've been watching some cross country guys who are doing long distance bicycle riding and motorcycle riding.
Yeah.
There's this one lady, a Dutch lady, I think her handle's Itchy Boots, and she went through Asia and into Europe, and then she was trying to go from the Patagonia into Alaska. That's what, South America into then the pandemic happened, and now she's in South Africa. So it's phenomenal. The way she tells the story and everything, there's a format she follows, but Yeah, I've been watching a bunch of stuff like that.
You said Itchy Boots?
Itchy Boots, yes.
Oh God, she's got them seasons. Itchy Boots season 5? Wow.
So I haven't watched, I've watched a few because I was, as you know, I got a motorcycle license earlier in the year, and then I've been looking at, okay, what do I need to get? When can I get it? And that sort of whole thing. And what's the cost of actually owning a bike here in New York City? So that's where I'm at right now in terms of that experiment.
Have you seen Long Way Round?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't. Long Way Round.
That's what made me get a motorcycle. That was the last I saw a Long Way Round. Said, "Oh, I'm going to do this." Charlie Borman and the guy that was in Star Wars, that Obi-Wan, the young Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I'm also not good with actors' names,
Ewan
but no, I'll look
McGregor.
him up.
What's that?
McGregor.
Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor. They take a couple of GS 1200s from their home in England all the way around through, through Russia, through Mongolia. Man, there's about an entire episode, good 45-minute episode of going through Mongolia, where they're on the map, there's a road, but there ain't no road. And those bikes, those are real high city. What kind of motorcycle did you get?
No, I didn't get anything yet. No,
Nothing
nothing yet.
You're gonna get a small bike for the city, or are you gonna get an old man cruiser like mine?
No, it's going to be something for the city. So I'm thinking anywhere between a 250 to a 650, somewhere in that range, but something that is easy to maintain. So I'm thinking air cooled. Like Lee's ridden bikes a lot, and he was saying definitely go for air cooled. So I don't know right now.
I'm in Arizona. I won't even touch an air cooled bike.
But
not
I thought
in Arizona, New York, fine.
Harley, isn't your Harley an air cooled engine?
All Harleys are air cooled except the brand new ones. Yeah. No,
Okay.
I won't do it. They're so hot. I've ridden motorcycles. I rode them a lot when I was younger, and I can remember sitting over that Honda 750, air cooled Honda 750 in the summertime, and it's 100 degrees outside, and the heat just rises up. And your thighs are hot, and it's not worth it. My Kawasaki rarely feels that hot, even though it is. You don't want to touch it.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're going to be in traffic very much, you're not going to want to air cool, because even in Columbus, I had an air cooled bike, and you get in traffic and you're going to boil your gas because you're not going to get enough air to cool it.
Okay. No, so yeah, I don't know. It's just right now I'm just playing with the idea. I'm thinking maybe a 250 to 350, something really small that I can, just take through traffic and stuff like that.
Yeah, look at the Honda Shadow series.
Oh, they're nice. I know the Honda Shadow series is
inexpensive,
nice,
and they never break. Never break.
But the Suzuki makes a TU 250, which people swear by. And then you had suggested, when I'd spoken to you last time about this, you had suggested that Royal Enfield is making good bikes, and they have turned their company around, and they're making some nice bikes between a 350 and a 650.
Yeah, my neighbor down, about a mile from here, I saw him on it when I kind of stalked him and followed him home because I wanted to see it up close. Oh, that's a beautiful motorcycle. Very retro, really retro. I mean, it really does look like a 1960 motorcycle.
Yeah. So, and those are the aesthetics that I like, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, I would say, look at the Shadow. Suzuki makes great ones. Yamaha makes fantastic ones. Kawasaki has the KTL series. And then if you want a brand new one with a warranty, then, I'd definitely look at the Hondas or the Royal Enfields.
Yeah.
The Royal Enfields don't lose their value, by the way, because everybody wants them.
That's what I was worried about. I was thinking that because they had a bad name from the past, that they might not have a resale value. But
hit YouTube, and you'll find great glowing reviews of them, like pages and pages of people reviewing the bike.
Yeah. No, they've definitely turned their company around.
So, what's up for the weekend, guys? We're just about ready to close it up. What's up for the weekend? Who's shooting this weekend? Amy's looking lost, like,
I
Why would
may
I-
end up shooting, who knows? Neighbor's having a big blowout party, Texas barbecue, so that's my plan. Just bought an awesome bottle of rye to bring over.
there you
So-
go.
Yeah, we're set.
The next time I get invited to anything like that, I'm going to go and I'm going to ask everybody there if I can take a portrait of them. I am like dying to take portraits of
I
people.
think that's a great idea.
Just, could you stand over here and just get a portrait of them? I won't take all my gear, a couple of, soft boxes, some C-stands, no, I'm kidding. Won't be doing that. But just to shoot people again, and real people are fine with me. So
I would say carry a recorder with you, an audio recorder, just to
Yeah.
just have them speak about one thought or something, right? That can be added to that portrait.
I got
Yeah,
one
I
of those
wish I
little
did
task
that.
cams, the little red task cam that fits in your
Yes.
shirt pocket. And
Yeah.
I use that because it's got the opposing mics on it.
Yeah.
So I can hold it here and I can say, so what do you think about this? And I don't sound like I'm in another room. Like all those recorders, you either have to point it at the person or point it at you.
Yeah.
The little task cams have that, they're opposing. So I'm on this channel, they're on that channel. I just pull it out and just stand there with it and talk to them and get a little, I did that on the trip. I've got waterfall sounds, motorcycle sounds, people milling around, going ooh and ah over some buffalo and all that kind of stuff. I'm surprised at the quality for $100.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
awesome.
Now, the power of audio to be able to tell a good story is phenomenal. It's I think as visual people, we sort of don't rate the audio that highly, but audio is very powerful. With audio with good photographs, good audio, well edited, good audio with good photographs, you hit it out of the park, right? It's just
In fact, good audio with mediocre photographs still beats great photographs with crappy audio.
oh yeah, any day, any
Yep.
day.
Yep.
Ask any videographer, they'll agree. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the thing about audio is there could be like a P52 for audio people. I mean, audio is a thing.
Oh yeah,
It's not like you pick it up on a weekend something. These audio people, man, they talk about microphones like we talk about cameras. They talk about receivers like we talk about lenses. I mean, that's an art to it. That's why I always say if I'm going to do something, I'm going to hire an audio guy and hire a videographer so that my stuff, my name on it, looks great.
Yeah.
It has to. So I've got mics here in the office. Everybody goes, well, you can use the mic in your computer. No, I can't. I want a good mic. So when I'm doing things like this, when I'm doing my YouTube videos and stuff, that I sound decent. So very cool. Virginia, you gonna be shooting this weekend at all?
I'm going to go to a permaculture house tour, maybe. But if not, somebody's picking up some cameras I'm giving away and she wants to be a photographer. So I'm going to ask her to sit for a portrait.
There you go.
Either way, I'm shooting.
There you go. Chris is gonna go out and shoot this weekend. Anything going on in Washington,
Yeah.
DC?
I'll be doing the assignment.
Oh, okay. Fantastic. Talk about a people town, man. You should be out doing portraits, Chris. Just go out, just walk around and do 10 portraits a day.
Okay.
Just anybody, except homeless people. No, I'm serious.
Oh,
I think they're exploited enough. They
Yes,
are
I agree.
exploited enough. Every rich white kid from the burbs wants to come into town and shoot homeless people. And then they go, oh, I care so much. No, you don't. You don't. You just,
Yeah.
it's a thing. So
I'm right there with you on that one, Don.
Yeah.
unless you're shooting them and you really can help them, then that's great. But if you're just gonna, put up a show in Soho that they can't even attend because you're, virtue signaling how much you care, then don't do that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, well, that was great. I love these talks. I love Photo Talk Friday. We had 7 people here today, plus me, 8 people. that's just fine. We got a lot to talk about. Next week is real iffy. I don't know yet. I'll keep you posted. Next week I'll be in on Friday. I will be in Yellowstone. So depending on, I would love to do a broadcast from Yellowstone with my iPad and you guys can see where I was and everything. So I'm going to make every effort. My plans are to be in Lake City for this period of time, mid part of the day, and we'll see if we can do it. So, all right, for everybody, have a great one.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Bye,
Have a great
Always a
weekend.
pleasure.
See you.
Always a pleasure.
Addie, great hearing from you again.
You too, sir. Thank you. It's like coming home.
Thanks. Awesome. See you later.
Bye.